Hey everybody, Final Film Productions here, back with another Dexter video, and today we talk more about Dexter Resurrections, the new show that's coming out next year. And today since we know that Michael C. Hall is coming back for Dexter Resurrections, and spoilers, at the end of Dexter's New Blood, Dexter was shot by Harrison, and seems to be shot pretty much in the heart, and left for dead for quite a long time, even in the running of the finale episode itself. So the question is, if Dexter's coming back, I suppose the big question is Dexter still alive? And for the case of this video, we're going to presume that he is alive and that he will be somehow alive in Dexter Resurrections. And based on the Michael C. Hall interview in Variety that I spoke about in the last video, it does seem like that's the direction they're going, because Michael C. Hall seemed pretty sketchy and kind of shifty about the idea that Dexter was dead. So in this video I'm trying to figure out how will they resurrect Dexter in Dexter Resurrections, and for me there's a lot of ways they could go with it. The question is, what is the most likely, what will make the best show? And it's really up in the air of where that could go. For me, there's three outcomes. If you have any more down below in the comment section, please let me know. Please like and comment this video too, and subscribe. But for me, there's three ways that Dexter can get out of this, and be in, or not get out of it, but there's three ways in which Dexter Resurrection can move the plot forward with Dexter alive. The first one is that Dexter is alive and is arrested by Angela. Then you have Batista, who's supposedly coming to this town pretty soon to look into the Bay Harbor Butcher connection. So the most obvious, based on how they ended this season, is that Dexter is somehow alive when they put him into the ambulance, or the police arrive and they check him, and that Dexter is taken to hospital for plot reasons. He could be out of commission and in a coma or whatever it is for days, weeks, whatever, and maybe the initial part of that first premiere episode is Batista and Angela looking into the connection of the Bay Harbor Butcher, and that seems like a pretty safe way for the show to go, because you know, the idea that Dexter survives the gunshot is a push, is a stretch, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. And especially in the world of Dexter, in the world of TV, we've seen characters come back from way worse. So they arrest him, they bring him in. The show then could go many ways. It could be a whole court case against Dexter Morgan. He could be put to jail. There was many ways to go, and I think that ultimately is the best route to go. The court case, the prison setting, possibly. There's a lot you could do with the Dexter character in that setting, and it would be, at least initially for the first half of the season, would be an interesting and new way to take the show. Instead of Dexter always getting away with it, Dexter always being in a relatively safe and kind of for Dexter to be always sort of in charge and on the front foot, for him to be the one that's being chased maybe by the courts and by the police, and the possibility of the death penalty, as Angela mentioned in New Blood. I think that's a interesting way to go. Again, could talk loads more about that, but the second route I think out of it is that Harrison, this is maybe a stretch, but people have been talking about retconning the ending. There is a part in when Harrison shoots Dexter, and then Angela arrives and tells Harrison to drive away. Harrison starts reading the letter. It is possible that they could retcon it, and instead of Harrison driving away, which we see in the end of New Blood, they could make it that Harrison thinks about driving away, but then gets out of the van and maybe knocks out Angela, and maybe puts Dexter in the back of the van and tries to save him. Now that's a stretch. It's maybe unlikely that they would go back and undo some of what Dexter New Blood did, So the idea that Dexter is lying on the ground, Harrison decides not to drive away and to possibly try and see, maybe he goes over, tries to see if Dexter is still alive. He can't believe that he possibly could have killed his father. And then maybe there's a scuffle between Angela. She's trying to tell him to get out of there. Maybe he knocks out Angela. And then he maybe tries to get Dexter out of there. Now that is a way to set up Dexter Resurrections in a way that Dexter and Harrison are back together. It maybe makes Harrison less of a disappointing character, because a lot of people didn't like the fact that Harrison killed his dad or tried to kill his dad and left him for dead. That is one way to kind of go back on what they've done in New Blood slightly. Not to change too much, because it wouldn't be changing that much. But again, it would be quite a. It may rub some people the wrong way, or it might make the show seem kind of a bit of a desperate attempt to rewrite an ending that didn't really sit well with fans. So that's route 2. Harrison doesn't go drive away. He comes back and he saves Dexter and takes him away, and Dexter is somehow brought back to some sort of health somehow by Harrison and maybe somebody else. Route 3 is again a bit of a stretch. I mean, we've seen Dexter lying there, blood spewing out of him and unconscious. The idea would be that Dexter somehow, before the police all arrive, we see the police driving in a motorcade towards Dexter's and Angela's position, that Dexter somehow jumps up, maybe not jumps up, but maybe takes out Angela and crawls away into a vehicle, nearby vehicle, maybe Angela's vehicle, and sort of drives somewhere and tries to find somebody to help him. That's quite a stretch. It's probably not out of the realm of possibility that a show would do something like that, but that is quite a stretch. And maybe the idea that he is healthy or able enough to jump up and knock somebody out and crawl away before the police could arrive is quite a stretch. But it's not completely out of the realm of possibility either. Did I say 3 or 4? You have my 4th outcome, which is that Dexter actually is dead, and that he comes back as Harrison's dark passenger, and Michael C. Hall is simply just a ghost or a vision in the season. So that's the 4 routes that I think the show could possibly go. I couldn't think of any other way. I mean, there is the other idea that somebody like Lumen or Hannah, Hannah has been written out of the show, that they somehow appear at this moment and help Dexter, but that seems like quite a stretch of credibility, that somehow a key character like that would just simply appear at this perfect moment when there's so little time between Angela ringing for backup and the backup arriving for anything like that to happen. Possibly Batista could arrive and somehow want to take Dexter away on his own to interrogate and possibly kill him himself. Again, that seems like quite a stretch. Batista doesn't seem like the sort of person that would do that. He would seem like the sort of guy that would want to do it by the book and look into this case himself. And even if Dexter's alive or dead, he would want to do it and do it by the law. And maybe he doesn't fully believe that Dexter is capable of this just yet. So that seems unlikely. So again, you've got Dexter being alive and arrested, going to court, going to jail possibly. Route 2 is that Harrison doesn't drive away and he saves Dexter, and Harrison and Dexter are on the run. Route 3 is Dexter somehow gets consciousness and escapes somehow, or Dexter is dead and he's the dark passenger. So these are the ways in which this Dexter Resurrection, in my opinion, could possibly go. They've got to be at least one of those in some variation or another. Would I be happy with all of them? No, I wouldn't be happy with Dexter being a dark passenger and not actually being alive in Dexter Resurrections at all. That would be a disaster. The other routes all possibly could be done with a little bit of effort and some suspension of disbelief. But I personally think they should go with the first one, where Dexter is somehow survives and is healed back to some sort of health, and there's an investigation and a court case and a whole big search into the Bay Harbor Butcher connection, which Batista and Angela obviously have a key interest in trying to get Dexter for for all the crimes he has committed. That seems like the best and most interesting way, and it would bring Batista's character back in a key and meaningful way, which you know, because by the end of New Blood we didn't get a resolution or any connection or any confrontation between Batista and Dexter. So that's, which way would you go? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Or do you have a fifth route that this show could go? Please let me know in the comment section, and I hope to have more Dexter videos soon. Thank you, and please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.